What do we got going on here? Yeah, the Dream Builder requires me to get something insane sounding. Just trying to get the keys to Dolores' heart from Merriman, who needs a way to erase memories. From the river Styx. Still trying to find the personal scent. Find a skull somehow from somewhere. I'm definitely suspicious of you because I've talked to everyone and have not gotten a single hint as to where this could be. I'm kind of curious.
Why not?
If I can steal from you. Please close the door. Please close the door. There we go.
Like a shadow I am.
No. I guess you can't steal because it's not a person?
I'm gone.
Like the game doesn't register it as being a person? I'm trying to find Marissa's Crimson Veil. Do you know where it might be? I heard she used to walk around a Crimson Veil. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's all. We said that already. I'll need something from you to keep quiet about this one. Very well, Posh. Open the third drawer, you scalawag. As you reach your hand in the drawer, it slams shut with great force. You only barely manage to withdraw your fingers in time. Haha! Cretin! Idiot! Open the drawer, I said, and you reach in. He slams his drawer again for emphasis, then begins shaking with laughter. I'm going to tell them right now. First, I would tell you this one thing. I have been popping in and out of the brothel for a good long time. I'm quite knowledgeable regarding both its occupants and their activities. I assure you that talking about me is utterly worthless. Not only will you lose me as a potential source of information, but I'll simply disappear before someone comes to investigate your claims, leaving you to look like a fool. Maybe I'll chop you up for kindling then. You'll do nothing of the sort. Why, even the most common of men knows that one can't commit an act of violence within a brothel. You'll simply be cast out. It's not violence, you're furniture. And even if that were not the case, I assure you my command of the art is quite impressive. You can just loop forever between these two things. I think that's the game just saying I'm not allowed to do anything to him.
All right.
Like he's a protected NPC or something? Alright, well, I think I still have more town to explore in this area, so we should deal with that. The apothecary, curiosity shop, advocates. Yeah, there's like a few still. Slightly intimidating. Oh yeah, there's still the under sigil. A little intimidating because these two buildings were the two most time-consuming places I've ever been to. Like, I think I just spent like 5 hours exploring those two locations. And maybe the foundry is part of that value, but they're dense. They're like up there with when I was still finding my feet and figuring out how to get out of the mortuary. The Advocate's house. There's the Advocate. This man is dressed in soft blue robes covered with intricate designs. Despite their opulence, however, the robes look wrinkled and worn. You place the man's age somewhere between middle age and early 60s. The worry lines make an exact determination difficult. As you enter, the man turns slowly towards you. As he does, you are suddenly struck with the terrible sense that you know this man, or did at one time. Greetings. The man squints. as if trying to place you. Yes. Is there something I can help you with? Who are you?
Updated my journal.
I am Iannis. He studies you and frowns. Were you looking for me? I don't know. What is this place? I am an advocate. These are my offices. Iannis's voice takes on an irritated edge. Do you seek counsel? If not, perhaps you would best test your curiosity elsewhere. An advocate? What's that?
Updated my journal.
Grace breaks in with a soft whisper. An advocate is one who argues cases before the Sigil courts. It's a lawyer. They also provide counsel and legal advice for those who request it. Iannis's frown deepens. An advocate provides counsel, helps others navigate the labyrinths of Sigil's legal system, arranges legacies for citizens to ensure that their property is divided as they choose upon death, so wills, defends those in Sigil's courts who have been wrongly accused. He pauses. Did you need any of these areas? Need help in any of these areas? Blah, blah, blah. Legacies. They are contracts that are deliverable at the death of the client. They provide specifics on how a person's possessions are to be divided upon the event of their demise. I have also heard them called wills. Are they anything like Dustman contracts? Oh my, no. The Dustman contracts, while they are deliverable at the time of the client's death, bequeath the client's body to the Dustmen. Not a pleasant business at all. But some who are poor of means find the Dustman contract to be a means of support. How would one go about invalidating a Dustman contract? He frowns slightly. One that is already signed? Little or nothing can be done once the signature is in place. The Dustman contract is quite specific on the destination of the corpse after death. Without the destruction of the contract, there's really nothing that can be done. I see. Do I owe you anything for this information? I am not the sort to charge others for giving them aid of this sort. He smiles slightly. I am an advocate, not a rug merchant, and greed is not permitted to step into my office. Excuse me for asking, but are you all right? You must excuse me. As of late, I have been beset by troubles. I'm afraid it has been a rather trying time these past few years. Anything I can help with? No. There is little that can be done. He nods at you. Nevertheless, I appreciate your offer. Thank you. Perhaps talking about your troubles will help ease your mind. Iannis sighs. I do not wish to burden you. I lost my daughter not long ago. There was also the fire, but that is another matter. Tell me about your daughter. Instantly, Iannis seems to collapse into himself. Yes. His businesslike facade drains from his face to be replaced with cold despair. My daughter, Dionara. Oh. Passed away some time ago. Tell me about her. What was she like? Dionara? She was young. She had recently joined the Society of Sensation, the Sensates, not an unpleasant faction. But she had also met someone there. She followed him on a journey, and there she died. Her butt... He looks pained. I was not even able to recover her body. You say she was a sensate?
My journal.
Yes, which sounds like we were then, last time, or whenever she died. He becomes slightly more animated, as if warming himself on a precious memory. She had joined them because of her gift, and the fact there was so much about the multiverse. she wanted to experience. The sensates lend themselves readily to the sharing of experience and sensation. Gift? Oh, her gift. Her gift.
Updated my journal.
Oh, yes. Yanis nods. My daughter had the blood of an oracle running in her veins, but it was an unreliable talent. Right, because she talked about her future back then. That time, she could predict events before they took place. She had sight. She could see through time itself, sift through the threads of fate. Did you know anything about this man she journeyed with? Little. I barely even knew of his existence until she had departed. By then it was too late to have known him. Did you know where she went on this journey? She never said. I am not certain she was capable of saying where they had gone. It must have been a terrible place. How did she die? I do not know. Her body was never recovered. Yanis's face turns blood red and his hands clench into fists, and that, perhaps, is the most maddening part of this misery. I will never know what possessed her to run off like that, what happened to her, nor where her body lies now. Forgive me for asking, but how do you know she is dead if you never saw the body? It is most curious. I went to the dustmen to see if they had found her body, and they directed me to one of their faction outside the Dustman Monument, a dustman named Death of Names, I believe. He is said to be an oracle of sorts, concerning those who have died. He told me my daughter had died. I believe the man was me, but I have forgotten much. You? Yanis looks you up and down. You are the one? And you say you have forgotten? Yanis draws himself up. He looks like he is squaring himself up for battle. You have forgotten. But the incident was not so long ago. How can that be? I have a strange condition. I lose myself for a time. Anything you can tell me about myself or your daughter would be invaluable. Countless liars have I known in my tenure in this city. Yanis studies you intently. You do not strike me as one of them, at least on this matter. He sighs. If you truly do not remember, then whatever befell you and my daughter on your journey must have left deep scars. I am inclined to agree. Then I ask your word on this. If your memory returns, and you discover what has happened to my daughter, return to me, so that my mind may be at last at rest on this matter. I will do that. Vow. Very well, then. Now leave. I wish to be alone with my thoughts. Well, let's roleplay a little bit. Even if I do talk to him more, let's like leave and come back later to talk to him. Also, can I go back to the mortuary? I guess I can die.
I'm gone.
Ooh, he's got a stem on him, hasn't he? Oh. I think there's a real brothel. Let's see. Murder man. Murder me. Let's pretend to be dead. I gained experience. Pox watches your performance without a sound. When you get back up, he speaks. Hi. Pox sell you. You want to be sold now? Yes.
I'm gone.
Joke's on you, I only pretended to be dead. Why is my entire party in here? Like, did the flaming man also pretend to die? Let's see, now there's all these zombie workers that I can talk to. I'm gonna get so off task right now. Oh, you do it here. The corpse makes no reply. Looks like it's too far gone to answer your questions. Oh. But I can still give them all a try. Feels like they quickly wrote themselves in a circle by putting... in a corner by giving them this ability. So then it's like, oh shit, that is only filled with zombies. Most of them doesn't work. I'm wondering if the one that I can't solve that puzzle for... There's a puzzle I couldn't figure out with the paper. Do I even still have that paper? The corpse shudders for a moment, then stirs, the spirit flowing into its abandoned mortal shell once more. Within seconds, a semblance of life seems to spring into the zombie's eyes, and it begins to gaze about with a look of curious puzzlement upon its face. The entire body now seems surrounded by a soft golden aura. I would ask you a question. The spirit suddenly seems to take notice of you. He flashes a disarmingly friendly grin, popping all the stitches around his mouth loose with a sudden movement. Momentarily surprised, he touches his hands to his lips, shrugs, and nods an informal greeting. Where am I? Such an odd place. Do I know you? He coughs gently, rubbing at his stiffened throat. Your remains, at least, are in a mortuary. He mulls it over for a moment, then laughs. Yes, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Now, do I know you? He cocks his head to one side, peering at you intently. He seems to regard discerning your identity as some sort of amusing game. No, I doubt you know me. Now, I had a question for you. The spirit shrugs and smiles, chuckling softly. Perhaps you're right. What is it you wish to ask me? He begins absent-mindedly pulling the remaining stitches from his lips and dropping them on the floor one by one. Who are you? My name was Assange. Might I know yours? I do not know. He looks surprised. How odd! A shame, truly. I must have something to call you, no? The spirit looks at you expectantly. I don't know. Adon? The spirit, sensing your frustration, laughs good-heartedly. Poor sod. Poor sod. Then Adon it is, friend. Now, did you have a question for me? Yes, I did. Certainly. Ask away. He smiles pleasantly, awaiting your query with interest. The last of the stitches now gone, his grin is not quite so eerie to look upon. Where are you from? I am from many places. In truth, my birthplace is unknown to me. I did a good deal of traveling in my life, and called many places home. Now all Orborea is mine to explore. The spirit seems well pleased. Being reanimated just seems rude in a universe where apparently, apparently people do just, we have a much greater understanding of the afterlife since we were first here. Mainly that there isn't one. This is the afterlife, looping into itself forever. Every time you die, you seem to be reanimated into another one of the planes based on your alignment or something, I think. Or once you die in a zone. I've lost the thread a little bit. It was kind of, it's kind of hard to parse, but it's from the lectures from earlier. I think the idea was that if you die in your aligned zone, you, are there forever, essentially, but if you die in the wrong zone, you're gone forever. Maybe. Because there was the idea that if you get recruited to be a member of the big blood war thing, that if you die there, that you then, like, come back as one of those demons from that region or something. But I might be wrong. It's just, this is a strange setting. But given the way that people seem to come back, that recontextualizes the part where people are just kind of kept here as corpse servants forever among the people that are... Because, like, even the Dustmen seem to agree with that idea, because they themselves are trying to fully correctly die by having no connections and escape a cycle. There must be a cycle, it's just that people won't remember it when they come back, I think. I don't know if I actually understand what's happening. The spirit seems well pleased. How did you end up here? As a zombie, I mean. The spirit's smile fades away and he looks troubled for a moment. Strange. I don't know. I'm not sure how I died, really? He shrugs. No matter. His cheery grin returns, somewhat bright despite being plastered across the corpse's withered face. He's so chill with being a zombie. I don't think they're all going to be this chill. Where are you? Where your spirit resides now? Arborea! A more wondrous place I could not ask for. Nowhere in my mortal life did I find a place of such passion, such splendor. He pauses for a moment, lost in pleasant recollection. The beauty of the land, the people. Magnificent. I tell you, truly, I miss it even now. He seems pretty happy with Arborea. So he has already moved on to a different life. But he also remembers this one. And I've dragged him back into this one. Like I just ripped him, like I seemingly ripped his consciousness out of where he is right now. What do you know of this place? Not so much. I signed a contract with a dustman on a whim. She had pointed out the dreadful place to me once, told me my corpse would be raised and used as a laborer. I thought, I'll have no need for it when I've passed into the next life. Why not? Might as well take the silver and go spend it on some women and wine. He chuckles at the idea, the ghost lights in his eyes flashing merrily. You know anything about the city around the mortuary? What, Sigil? Seeing your nod, the corpse's smile stretches into a wide, wicked grin. Oh, I'll not spoil that for you. Go and explore the place for yourself. Get lost in its streets, its taverns, its people, but take care. It can be a dangerous as well as wondrous place. But that's what makes it so exciting, no? Never mind. And he's just hanging out. Is he back again, He smiles broadly. Oh, he's still like this even when I am not actively using the spell on him. Maybe he'll just like hang out here for a bit. When does he get to go back to Arborea? Okay, so the reanimated bodies are less distressing than expected, because apparently he is off somewhere else. And I'm the one who dragged him back, actually. So I'm the baddie. I haven't talked to Doll since episode 1. Maybe there's something new to say. Greetings again, Restless One. Do you not know the woman's corpse interred in the memorial hall below? I thought that she had traveled with you in the past. Dahl looks like he is about to start coughing again, then catches his breath. Am I mistaken? She claims to know me, but I can't recall her. She spoke to you? Dahl's voice drops to a whisper. Are the fevers upon you, Restless One? She has reached the true death and passed well beyond your reach. She spoke to me, doll. Her spirit resides here. Doll draws a semicircle in the air in front of him with a finger. This is an ill omen, restless one. I pray you dreamed the conversation, yet I fear you did not. Think nothing else was new there. Is this not where the... No, the next room over is where the tiefling was. Oop. The spirit blasts back into the body with such violence that with a single great muscular contraction, the corpse is hurled backwards. The body is on its feet again in an instant, dancing and thrashing about madly, waving its arms and popping its stitches. Flaps of loosened flesh flopping about as it prances to and fro, eyes goggling and rolling about in its head, giggling madly all the while. I have a question for you, spirit. The possessed corpse sings as it leaps and whirls about, the volume and pitch of its voice rising and falling in random patterns. You are the spirit, I, the living. Answer my questions you shall. Your confused expression seems to please it. It hooks its bony fingers into its mouth and pulls it into a ghastly grin, laughing maniacally and waggling its pasty white tongue. Very well, ask your questions. The spirit seems to become calm for a moment before exploding into a steam of mind-numbingly loud, babbling nonsense. The cacophony is almost maddening. It threatens to drive you to your knees, and as abruptly as it begins, it stops. The corpse stands there, twitching quietly. I didn't quite catch that. Could you repeat it for me? I do not understand. I have a question, however. Again, the spirit sings, questions of the living shall the dead answer thee. So it was, it is so. Shall so it be. You, my answer, will questions. The look on your face seems to please it wildly. It begins to cavort so madly that you wonder if the corpse can take the abuse. You can almost hear its bones creak and fracture, tendons snapping as it spins and hurls itself about. Give up and leave the babbling spirit. As the spirit fades away from the corpse, its jabbering mouth twists into a knowing smile. Its wild, flashing eyes bore into you with the piercing glare of a psychopath, and it whispers a single, carefully formed word, drawn out like a string of precious snarls. Limbo. What? And with that, it is gone, leaving you no better off and feeling slightly unsettled. The zombie quietly resumes its work. Are they in limbo now? Losing it to the lack of stimulation? If there's just... I imagine limbo just being like a gray void. This heavily... Blah, blah, blah. This button? Nope. Nope. Iveen is not interested in further discussions. There should still be an anarchist here. Can you tell me anything about Dianara? Huh? He frowns. Who's she? Not gonna get much going on there.
Might as well. Got it.
Ancient copper earring closed. Unusable. Closed. This copper earring looks ancient. Oddly enough, there doesn't seem to be a hook or any ways of actually attaching it to your ear. A series of strange grooves that have been carved on the inside of the earring, however, which might merit closer examination. Do I need to give it to you? Use. Insert your fingernail into the notch that matches the triangle, where the triangle was pointing in the fanged circle you saw on Zombie 79's forehead. You hook your fingernail into the third groove from the top and press it inwards. As you do, there is a click, and the top of the earring snaps open. Not only can you wear the earring now, it looks like there is a secret compartment inside the earring. How? Shake the earring and see if anything comes out. You shake the earring, but nothing comes out. Whatever is hidden in the earring is gone now. Just discovering that makes it more valuable to the merchants, apparently. Somewhat unusual use of explanation there. Like, truly trying to sell you on the idea that something happened here. Just because, like, it's like a kind of perturbing interaction. You're like, what did I even accomplish? What was the point of this?
Done.
And so the game steps in just to break the fourth wall to explain. I don't know if this is true, but whenever I see the white text explanations from this game, I assume that those are like enhanced edition explanations to try to make the game more comprehensible. But I don't know. Not for sure.
I'm gone.
Okay. Yeah, being up here is a little rough because they attack me on sight or chase after me. I don't really want to mass murder everybody right now.
I'm gone.
But I also do not have a disguise. Look at me having just so many more inventories than before. Thaco -1 is bad, isn't it? I have a super axe, and that's a poopy axe.
My love, you have returned to me. Can it be that your memories have returned? I shall wait for you in death's halls, my love.
Alright, so I came here to potentially talk to her about her father. but that doesn't seem like it's gonna pan out. But we got to hang out and not talk to some interesting corpses.
There's much to be learned from all parts of society.
So why not? I'm still sad you can't talk to the post. It's just a memorable, strange corpse person. I want to investigate further.
All right.
We left him alone to his thoughts for a while. You see Iannis. He turns as you enter and affixes you with a tired gaze. There are dark sacs beneath his eyes, and he looks as if he has not been sleeping. Greetings, Iannis. You again. Iannis frowns slightly as he stares at you. What is it you want this time? Can you tell me about the fire? There was nothing much to say about the matter. It was a strange, localized fire. I cannot imagine what would have been precious in the documents that were burned, but someone must have wanted them destroyed. Can you tell me what was burned? A number of old legacies were burned, and some mementos and other keepsakes of value only to me. Legacies? Good to know about that. Any luck in locating the person responsible? No, neither the Harmonium nor the Mercy Killers have had any fortune in locating the person responsible. That's probably it for now. This is a solid crystal tank with several fish frozen inside. Oh. It's a beautiful silver mirror. Oh, by frozen, does he mean it's full of they said they said solid crystal, and I thought they meant like
Done.
the tank's made of crystal. God damn. Ah, water. Ugh. I thought they were saying that like the tank itself is like made of crystal, like where the glass would be, but if the fish are frozen inside, that makes me think that the entire tank is a block of crystal with fish trapped inside. Hello, evil monster. Wow, so dangerous.
All right.
I will never be able to repel the waves of them that pursue me day in and day out. Let's see. Curiosity shop. And anything left over in here? Oh, what's this? The two under Sigil. Okay, so there's two entrances to under Sigil. I'd stay out of there, citizen. It's dangerous down below. This large red armored figure is standing in place, apparently guarding the stairs behind him. You dimly recall that this ornate armor marks him as an officer of the Harmonium, one who provides law enforcement for the city. Greetings. The man casually motions back towards the street. Move along, sir. What are you doing here? He points toward the stairs beside him, which look to descend straight beneath the city. Guarding the stairway, sir. Why? Where does it lead? To the realm below. Seeing your expression, he continues. Under Sigil. You may have heard of it called. Any reason you're keeping people from entering the place? He chuckles softly, the plates of his armor rattling with the movement. I'm watching for anything that comes out, sir. Things that don't belong in Sigil proper. What sorts of things are down there? Don't concern yourself with it. He regards you curiously for a moment. You're considering going down there, aren't you? Well, Be most cautious. Rumors abound of the worst sorts of creatures living down below. I need your help. Never mind. I was like, do I have a loose end to bring up to him that I have forgotten? I did not. Art and the Curio Galleria. Curiosity Shop. Phenom the Linguist's Home. Oh, I found your book. It was Phenom. Let's say this joke a few more times. This short, scholarly man, a tight, nervous frown on his face, looks you up and down. Greetings. I am Phenom. I must beg your pardon, sir, but I care little for guests invited or otherwise, so unless you've business with me, I would ask you to leave. I did have some questions. I would have you know that I am a scholar and a linguist, sir. While I shall happily entertain any questions regarding my field of study, language, and the like, I can be of no help to you in other matters. He glances your way, frowning. Chosen to grace my home once more, have you? What is it you wish of me this time? Sir, I have your book. Why is it so hard to give it to you?
I'm gone.
Everybody's in my way.
I'm gone.
There is an urn atop this small cabinet full of ashes and charred bits of bone. Etched into the base of the urn are the words Fin and Andleal. Andli? Fin Andli? Beloved husband, father, and scholar of 100 languages. Let's use stories bones tell. The ashes seem to stir faintly as if moved by your breath. A faraway voice whispers up from within the urn. Why? Why have I been summoned to these ashes? Cold and gray as the heart of a hag. To answer some questions, spirit? Ask then, so that I may return to my most quiet thoughts. Who were you? I was Finn, a linguist and a scholar. I was murdered. Murdered by a student of mine. Murdered so that I could not teach another the language that I had taught him, the tongue of the Uyo. It was one of the rarest in the multiverse. I knew of none who spoke it save myself and that one damnable, murderous student. Do you know how to speak Uro? Okay.
I'm gone.
I came here to close a loop, and instead I opened a new one. There are now 2 loose ends related to Phenom. Performance artist. This man's face has been painted white. A pair of arched eyebrows have been penciled into his brow, and red powder has been used to make small circles on his cheeks and accentuate his lips. He says something, but you can't hear him. His hands are pressed up against what looks like an invisible wall. Oh, he's a mime. What? I can't hear you. He hangs his head, sighs soundlessly, and shrugs. He then steps back a bit, waves farewell to you, and begins to pantomime various actions, pulling on a rope, walking downstairs, and so on. Balsam Grace looks closely at the man. I believe I've heard of this sort of performance art. It's common on a number of prime worlds. She lowers her voice so that only you can hear her, and widely loathed on more than a few of them. See if you can touch him. You reach out to touch the man, but your hand is stayed by some unseen force. The performance artist appears to have been trapped in some sort of invisible box or cage. Oh my goodness, it's real! The box is real, and I believed in it, or felt it, or something. Golly gee. I've been to the apothecary already, haven't I? That's where I got my shaving, my body shaving. That's where we met that there's like a split person there. Just a rough time for them. Clerk's ward citizen.
Done.
Ivana. Before you was a well-dressed elderly woman in a gown of peach-colored and golden thread. She stands quietly, her hands folded together primly, and nods in your direction. It is then that you notice that she has no pupils. Her eyes are entirely white. Greetings, sir. I am Ivana. Welcome to my Galleria. Feel free to look about, spending as much time here as you'd like. Should you have any questions regarding any of the pieces, do not hesitate to ask me of them. I had some questions, Ivana. One moment, sir. Your voice. It is heavy with age and wounds. Would you be so kind as to permit me to touch your face? Yes, go ahead. Ivana smiles, gently running her old hands over the skin of your face. She frowns, looking slightly puzzled. So many scars, both old and new. They seem to... She touches the side of your throat, flushes, then pulls away. Pardon me, sir, I was curious to see how far they went. It's fine, and they're everywhere. My whole body is scarred. Ivana nods. Can you see, Ivana? I believe she is blind by choice and not by circumstance. Ivana nods, smiling. Your friend is quite correct, sir. I cannot see, but only because I do not wish to. In time, I will allow my vision to return so that I can re-experience the contents of my Galleria with the benefit of new, fresh eyes. Well... You look familiar to me. Do you know someone named Eves? That is my daughter. For a moment there's a hint of sadness in the milky whiteness of her eyes. We no longer speak to one another. Why is that? There is nothing to be said between us. She has gone off in pursuit of stories, all for reasons I am unaware of. She told me a tale that might answer that question. Ivana raises her eyebrows. Oh? Tell me, would you please? I'd most appreciate it, sir. Tell her Tale Chaser's story, and the endless quest for the tale that holds the truth she seeks. Ivana nods slowly. I had no idea. I will see her now. I thank you, good sir, for bringing me this news of my only daughter. As she speaks, color slowly bleeds into her pale irises until the eyes are a brilliant shade of green. Your eyes? Can you see now, Ivana? She nods, smiling. She was willfully blind so that she could man the gallery but not see the art, so that she could then come back and suddenly be like, oh wow, again, like trying to forget. It's like whenever you like have a game you play that's like a fantastic game, but it relies, like, you can't have the first experience again, so you kind of try to pursue that again. What is this place? Why, it's my Galleria of the Plains. She smiles and gestures around her. These pieces have been brought from far and wide. Some I sell, some I keep. All I display, at one time or another. Please enjoy them, and, again, should you have questions regarding any of the pieces, do not hesitate to ask me of them. What is of interest here? I'm afraid I do not go far beyond the Galleria, and cannot help you with this matter. May I ask someone else, blah blah blah. Where can I find work around here? Never mind, actually. Farewell. I feel like I should actually look at any of the pieces before I ask her about them. Okay, everyone's gonna wait at the door because you all make it really hard. Oh, fuck. You all make it hard to just interact with things.
Done.
This painting shows what looks to be an infinitely long stream of bilious green not grass either, fuck. Gas. Bilious green gas. Stretching off into darkness. The horizon is a blasted, rocky plain that can be seen in the lower right-hand corner of the painting. One is given the impression that the head of the green cloud is rearing to strike down upon it. A placard reads, Hazazoth, at the consumption of Vingar. I always want to reference that Star Trek episode, and I can't actually remember the quotes on the fly. I'm so bad about it. But the one that... the name of the painting just reminded me of the people that speak entirely in metaphor. This painting, an abstract work of greens and purples, writhes and ripples as it's watched. Closer examination reveals that the actual painted image is changing, rather than the canvas itself. A placard states, "Moment's glance from the walls of Mochama." Touch it. You place your hand upon the painting, and as you had suspected, it is not the same. It is not that the canvas is physically moving, but that the painted image itself is changing. The actual visual is changing on its own somehow. An animated, bloody iron chain, coiling and uncoiling upon itself. The chain itself seems to bend and weave like the spine of a snake. A small placard reads, "A chitin's animate chain from Jangler Heiter." Jangling Heiter. I thought it said Hitler. Touch the chain. The chain is slightly warm to the touch, as if it were alive. You notice that various barbs, tiny hooks, needles, and other small, sharp bits are welded along the chain's length. Well, that's just uncomfortable to deal with. It makes sense that there's sensates and stuff for here. A painting of tall, black cliffs against a blood-red sky. There looks to be figures hiding among the crags of the cliffs, but whenever you squint at the painting to try to make them out, the image fades into nothing. The placard reads, "Outland Raiders." You're just not allowed to look closely at it. There's something funny about this gallery being entirely on these two walls. The northwest and northeast walls, and then all the other walls are blank. Or we just can't see anything in those directions. Either way is funny. A massive horn of beaten lead, wound with brazen chains. The horn is horribly mangled, as if some tremendous force had crushed it. Jagged blades protrude along its length, almost as if it were meant to be used as a club by some gigantic creature, as well as a battle horn. A placard mounted beneath the horn reads, "Cleansing Horn of Acheron." Put your head against the wall and try to blow the horn. Try as you might, you get no sound to issue from the massive horn. Your lips come away from the mouthpiece tasting of blood, smoke, and metal. Ugh. We are very hands-on with this gallery, which is probably, I would not generally assume to be the intent, but there are like little kinetic galleries sometimes in real life, but we're being very presumptive at the moment. A brilliant ruby statuette stands on this pedestal, carved into the image of a... Oh. It's carved into the image of a winged humanoid, as in it is carved in the likeness of the likeness of. But I thought it was carved into, like as in like the other use of the word into, so I was like, what? The figure is either demonic or angelic in nature, but it's difficult to tell which, because it refracts the light of the Galleria strangely. There is no placard indicating what exactly the statuette is. Doubt, as a concept. The surface of this painting, a wild collage of vivid colors, ripples constantly as if it were the surface of a pond during a light rain. The placard reads wave motion study number 7. People make studies all the time, but usually they don't have this kind of magic to them. Touch the painting. You place your palm against the canvas. You cannot feel the ripples themselves, though a cool tingling sensation passes through your hand at the first contact. The statue looks like it's about to make some angry proclamation. The sculptor has captured the essence of fury magnificently. The chiseled tension lies around the neck and forehead alone. The chiseled tension lines around the neck and forehead alone must have taken many long months to get correct. 5 cracks run over the entire statue, and there is a plaque attached to its base. The plaque reads, "This student is believed to be the final fate of the Syrian sorcerer Gangroi Gygadon. Attacked by a conclave of rival sorcerers at the height of his dream madness, he was imprisoned with a spell that turned his flesh into stone. Gangroidhydon is said to have been frozen with a final, awful curse still upon his lips, a curse so terrible that it was never meant to be spoken by the lips of a living man." Examine. The statue looks like it's about to make some angry proclamation. Examine the cracks. You carefully examine the cracks that run like a network of fine black veins along the statue's surface. At one point, near its inner arm, is a section where the entire splinter of stone looks ready to come off. Break the piece off. You reach for the section of the forearm where the cracks have formed, grip it firmly and yank, to no avail. You'll need a hammer to break the stone, and a small one. The limited space between the statue's arm and body means a large one suitable for combat, for instance, won't work. Can I have a... I guess this is suitable for... Yeah, suitable for a tiny hammer. Have I ever found a tiny hammer? Not that I can remember. This is a portrait of a grotesque, hook-nosed old crone. The hag's flesh is a sickly blue-gray color. Her eyes glow red like the embers of a dying fire. Her chin, long and sharp, juts forward in an extreme underbite. 2 yellowed canines protrude upwards from her lower jaw like small tusks. The smile upon her withered, purplish lips speaks of a horrible secret. The placard reads, "Grey Hag of Oinos." As you begin to turn away from the painting, something in it draws your attention. A strange, tingling sensation arises in the back of your mind. A memory begins to surface. You recall standing, confused in a maze of briars. The hideous crone of the painting is before you, cackling wildly. You grit your teeth in frustration, wondering why she's laughing at you. "My poor, dear, lovely man-thing," she croons. "Why, that was your first wish!" She points a single bony, clawed finger at your forehead. Your temples begin to throb painfully, and you can remember nothing more. What happened? Did our memory get wiped? Or what did I do? In some narratives, these kinds of scattered memories build up to something and you find out what they are eventually and it all comes together. But I think that these are infinite lost stories that we'll never learn more about because that's just the nature of what happened. We've lived so many lives that we've had so many scattered experiences that we could never, ever return to.